I did soft DNF it. Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Destini, and if you're new here, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So let's get into it. So I have read approximately 20 plus books this month, and I had a really good reading month. This is probably one of my best reading months. It is the most that I've ever read in one month, if I'm not mistaken, but it was so good. Like, I really enjoyed. I did have some duds. I did read a lot of arcs as well, so I will give you some of my thoughts around those, and then later on, if you're interested, just let me know and I'll do individualized reviews on that. So because we have a lot to cover, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the very first book that I want to discuss is 7 Days in June by McWilliams. I will say that I highly recommend this book. This book, The Spice, I will give it about a 3 out of 5. But in terms of this book, it gives you like all of the feels. And I'm usually not a romance reader, which is kind of funny because I have an entire shelf that's dedicated to romance and dark romance. So it's something I'm starting to find a love for. And I really, really love this book. And I feel like everybody should definitely go out and read it. It's very good. It's very hyped up on Book Talk, and they did not lie. So that is 7 Days in June by McWilliams, and I'm probably going to say this was, I won't say I'm going to say, I did give this a 5 out of 5 star read. So this was a 5-star read for me for the month. So this book is a part of a series, and the series is The Perfect Marriage by Jeneva Rose. I absolutely adored this book. I did not read this book this month, but it goes with the book that I did read, and I did read The Perfect Divorce, which is book 2. Do you have to read one in order to read this one? Absolutely. You will be lost. This was a 5-star read, which it's a lot of people, you either love it or you hate it, but I actually really enjoyed this book. But I like Jeneva Rose's books. I have not read all of hers. I do own all of them, I think, except one. And I gave this 5 stars back when I did read this in January of this year. So in terms of reading this one, I did not like this one. So this felt like a very small novella. It was very, I don't know, y'all. Like, I gave this like a 3 out of 5 stars. Absolutely my least favorite of her books. And it just felt like it was just husband and wife going back and forth being petty, and it's very superficial, and I wanted more character development, and I thought I was going to get that with this. And then, of course, when you read the acknowledgments in the back, or the author's note, I can't remember, in the very back of the book, she's not, like, I thought this was the end of the series, but apparently not. From my understanding, if I read it right in the back of the book. The next one, I will read it because I really do love Jeneva Rose. So I'll probably read it. This is a 3 out of 5. Do I recommend it? Maybe. So this next book, this is The Nightbirds by Christopher Golden. I did receive this as an ARC, and I really, really enjoyed this book, to the point where I had like mixed feelings about it, because this is my first Christopher Golden book, and I just wasn't, like, the ending, I wasn't really kind of satisfied with the ending. So I did give this book a 3 out of 5 stars. And normally when I have a 3 out of 5 star book, because it's an ARC, I usually don't go out and buy the physical copy. I pre-ordered this. Forgot I pre-ordered it. It showed up and now I have it. And, of course, those things happen sometimes. So I did pre-order this. The book, like, this is a stunning cover. And of course, if it's horror, for spooky season, should you read it? Absolutely. Like, it's a very easy read. Um, it has witches, like witchcraft and witches in it. But it was okay. It's not my favorite. Would I reread it? Absolutely. I probably will reread it during the fall just for the vibes. And once again, this book is stunning, but we'll see. Okay. So the next book, I also gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. And this is Mapping the Interior by Stephen Graham Jones. I did have the arc of this one. And was it Barnes and Noble or Books A Million? I think it was Barnes and Noble. They actually had this for like $5 for the month of May. So you can probably go try to catch it. Which it came out in May. Um, so for them to have it for $5, I was like, I mean, it is little, like it's a very thin read, but just to give you like a gist of this one, because it's really little, I don't want to kind of, it is meant for like someone who likes those horror thrillers. And it's about this kid. He starts to see his dad. His dad is dead, and so he starts to see his dad's like spirit walking around the house, and he's trying to figure out, if it's his dad and like what's going on. And so it was very interesting. I did give this a 3 out of 5 stars. And this is actually my, like I think I've already said, this is my first Stephen Graham Jones book. And I have started looking into seeing if there's anything else from him, because I kind of enjoyed this one. I wasn't too crazy about some of the writing style of it, but do I recommend it? Absolutely. But yeah. Okay, so this is played by Naima Simone. This is a hockey romance. I enjoyed this book so much. It was a beautiful story. The spice is about a 4 out of 5. Like, the spice was given. The spice was giving. Okay. So let me be honest when I say that, but this book was absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I did love the writing style, because sometimes when you read a book that's like all spice, no plot, this definitely gave spice plot, a little bit of drama, and just an overall great story by Naima Simone. There are a couple of other books that I'm very interested in reading by Naima Simone. And so just let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, what did y'all think about this book? Because I'm very curious. This is actually my first hockey romance book. And of course, I know, oh gosh, what's her name? Is it Allie Hazelwood or something? Who is it? No, it's not Allie. I can't remember that. Um, who writes all the hockey romances that are very popular. I always see in the store. I can't remember. I'm literally drawing a blank. I'll put it down below once I figure it out. But I am very curious, because this is about a black firefighter and a hockey player. And so this was really good. So definitely go out and read this. This was a 4 out of 5 star read for me. I would reread it again, of course. So this is I think this literally came out like last week, if I'm not mistaken. And I love Lucinda Berry, y'all. Like, I am a big Lucinda Berry fan. And this was I have not read all of Lucinda Berry's books, but I did not like this at all. I DNF'd it. So this was a DNF for me. Will I go back and try to read it? Probably. And it wasn't like I wasn't in the mood for it. I just honestly just did not care for this story. And this book is following a reality TV show and a doctor. Um, she's a chemical dependency counselor, and I'm reading it off the bat because I didn't finish reading the book, obviously. And so it's kind of following them. It's kind of like a big brother type book. If you watched Big Brother, this is what she was kind of going after. And someone ends up dead in the house, and this in theory sounded like it was going to be amazing. I just was not crazy about it, and I DNF'd it, and I feel really bad, but I don't. I may come back around to it later on. But yeah, but that's 1 and 4 by Lucinda Berry. So this is a book. I did enjoy the book. Do I think it's overhyped? Yes. Um, Now, with that being said, I thought Elliot in the book was problematic for me. And please let me know if you guys have read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And this is actually my first Christina Lauren book. And I've had this book for about a year. Like, I've had it for a while and just never picked it up. And I was like, I'm finally going to read the book. And I actually listened to the audiobook and read it at the same time. And I just could not get over Elliot in this book. So I did give this book a 3.5 out of 4, out of 5 stars, excuse me. And I don't know, Elliot was just giving problematic to me. And Macy just was like naive. And I get they've had like this long-standing history, but I don't know, Elliot was doing and saying things even as a child, and it's like, okay, he was a child, but in some of the things, like when they would go back in the dual POV, and I just found it to just be just problematic for me. But do y'all understand? If y'all do, put in the comments if you do understand, because I am so curious to see like what other people think about this book. Now, would I reread it and would I recommend it? Absolutely. Like, I definitely would recommend it. Like, it's a good book. But that's like the only thing that I was just like, was just Elliot it was just a character I was not crazy about. So next I'm going to get into an arc that I did receive. It's called Plus Size Player. It is book 2 within this series for the Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. This was a 5-star read for me when I read it a year ago. And I did receive the arc for this one last year, and it was the audiobook, which of course the narrator is Wesley Chobon, and Wesley Chobon was the narrator for Plus Size Player. This book, 5 out of 5 stars, as well as this one. There is a third book in this series that I think does not come out until 2026. Gonna get it, gonna read it, absolutely. This and Plus Size Player, they were phenomenal books. And the audiobook, of course, delivered. It gave everything. The book does come out on June 10th. Please go read this book. Go get it. Go support. I absolutely adore this book, and I would reread it and listen to it again and again and again. So I'm going to get the audiobook and I'm going to get the physical copy. And I've read this book probably 3 or 4 times once I received my physical copy, because the book is just that good. Like, I really love it. And it's kind of like, this is another book that people were like, you either like it or you hate it. It's a slow burn. And if you like slow burns, this is something that you really want to look forward to. And if you want to see plus size Black women being represented in the correct way, this is it. Plus Size Player was absolutely hilarious, y'all. Like, that was, if you thought this had some funny points in it, Plus Size Player had me like laughing out loud. Like, I was screaming. It was just that good. But definitely go out and read. It's a 5-star read for Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen. Comes out June the 10th. Alrighty. So this next book is a part of this series that is near and dear to my heart, and it's book 3. So this is book 1, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Book 2 is This Could Be Us. This was my introduction to Kennedy Ryan, and I wish I would have read her sooner. But yeah. And I will say, book 3. I am so sad that this series is now over. This is the Skyland series. Can't get enough. Follows the third friend in this friend group, and this is a plus size black woman who is a badass, and the man Maverick Bell was delivering in this book, delivering all that and more. So I will say the spice is about a 4 out of 5. This is a 5-star read. The entire series is a 5-star read. And I will go out on a limb and say I will probably reread this again. Now, this was for about a couple of days, not because of the content or anything bad in the book. I soft DNF this book because it was a little bit hard to get through some of Hendrix's points of her talking with her grandmother. I mean, not her grandmother, her mom, excuse me. And it made me started to think about my own grandmother, and my mom was her caregiver, and how hard it was to care for someone who has Alzheimer's and someone who's aging, and like living in the household with my mom and my grandmom before she passed away a couple of years ago, and like how hard it was on my mom. And it was also during COVID, and it was just all of those things that I didn't realize. This book brought a more awareness to, like, oh my gosh, like my mom is a superwoman. Because I remember her telling me stories, or just because I was in the house, I could see things because I obviously was working, but like when my mom would tell me different stories of like things for my grandmother and how hard it was. And then even like stepping in to help was hard. And so this just brought so much awareness. I did cry in this book because of some things that Hendrix was going through in the book. And it just, I don't know, this is my favorite out of the series. It just has a very special place in my heart in this book. And Kennedy Ryan did an amazing job. Which she handles things with care when she writes a book. And this is probably one of my top books of the year. I really did enjoy this book, and I recommend everyone go out and read the entire series, including this one. This is my favorite, but this was a 5-star read. Okay, so this next book, y'all, stressful. Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering. If you've watched the Netflix series pissed me off. You can go watch my TikTok video. I'll link it below on like my true thoughts on the series. I finally finished the series. It pissed me off. And so, but I'm like ready for season 3 because I'm like, I want to see how they wrap this up in the book. And the book was a 4-star read for me. Now, who did it better? I'm probably going to say the TV show did it better. In like bringing all of this tragicness. But this book is the messiest book that gave me feelings to where I'm like cussing at the TV. I'm cussing at the book. And it took me a while to get through the book because I was like, let me finish the series first and then go back to this because I can't be mad at both. Like, I don't have that much time in my life. But this book was so messy, and it wasn't even triggering because I've never been in this type of relationship. But may this love never find me ever in life. I mean, I know I'm engaged, but may he never be this man ever. And I mean, he's not, but no. Like this, may this love find nobody I know also in life. Because this is the most narcissistic, sociopathic, hot mess. But you can't turn your head from it. You gotta keep watching it. You get where I'm going. It's a 4-star read. Is it worth the read? Yes, it's worth the read, and it's worth the watch on Hulu. Do yourself a favor and just go be mad with me. I will love that. Book is One Last Shot by Betty Cayouette, and this is my first Betty Cayouette book. The reason why I picked up this book was because the book was primarily in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was, because I think that's why I was like, ugh. And if I could move to another country, it would be Italy. Yeah. So I would definitely do that for sure. But this book, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's a really good summer read. And would I read it again? Absolutely. This is a book that you will take on the beach and go read and do all the things. But this is definitely a really good read, a really good story. One of the characters was slightly problematic for me. But other than that, like, I don't mind. I don't mind a problematic one. Like, sometimes that's the point of what the author was kind of going after, I assume, in most times. But other than that, this was a really good book. And should you read it? Yes. So this book came out in April. I read it in April, and I did reread it again in May because I was like, people were talking about one part in the book, and I was like, I think I missed a part. Let me go back and read it. So I did have the arc of this book, and I went back and read it. I went and got the physical copy. Sorry. So this is Such Quiet Girls by Noelle West Ihli. And I love Noelle West Ihli. She's the one who wrote As for Andrea and Gray After Dark, which those were about 4-star reads for me. That I really did enjoy those 2 books by her. And this book was, I gave it a 3.5 stars, but I think the only reason why I kind of ruined the book for myself. So this book is loosely based on a true story about, oh gosh, what's the name of it? But this book is following a bus driver and a couple of kids on the bus. They are kidnapped. It's based on a true story. And they are kidnapped and held for ransom by a couple of men. And it just follows them in their story and their journey. And I ruined it for myself going online through the internet rabbit hole once I found out while I was reading the arc. And I literally went on there and ruined it for myself. And I was like, I already know what's going to happen in the book, but I was like, let me keep reading to make sure this is really what's going to happen. And I was like, if any kids get hurt, like, and anyways, I ruined it for myself, but it's a good book. Like, it's a really solid book. Now, this is probably my least favorite of the of Noelle's books. This is my least favorite, but this is a good book. And I gave it, like I said, a 3.5 stars. Should you read it? Absolutely. But I did enjoy the book. Alrighty. Next, we have All I've Wanted, All I've Needed by A.E. Valdez. I've been reading this book for a very long time. Not because it's not a good book. This is a 4.5-star read for me. This book was phenomenal, amazing. I absolutely love this book. Would I read it again? Absolutely. This was like, and the reason why it took me so long to read the book, because I have it on audiobook and I have the physical copy, and I just kept going back between the two. But it's like, I did not want this to be over because I really loved Harlow, the character, and I loved Asen, new book boyfriend, by the way. But I just really, this was like one of the first books where it's like, sometimes you rush a book because you're just like, let me get through it. But this one was like, I don't want this to be over with. And of course, this is the first book in the series, and I still have the rest of the series to kind of go through. And I need to look and see if the rest of the series is about Asen and Harlow. If not, I'm still going to read it, but I am going to continue this series. It's a couple of books. I cannot wait to go through the rest of them and just read it. So I have 2 more physical books. The rest of the books that I have, they are going to be arcs that I'm going to talk through. But yeah, so this one is Mirror Girls by Kelly McWilliams. This was one of my top books. This is a historical fiction with magic realism. So this book follows like 2 twins. One is white passing, and the other one is black, obviously, and they're separated at birth. They come back together and find out that they didn't even know that they were twins. Um, and this book was just so amazing. And the magical realism was phenomenal. It is dual POV between the 2 sisters. And the magical realism is not to the point where you're like, you're turned off from it, but it's so good. It gives you so much emotion and heart. And this is a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved and adored this book. And it it seems like it's for like a YA book, but this was one of those books that was not giving YA at all. And I think this should be talked about more. So I really did enjoy it. It was a 5-star read. All right, so my last physical book, and this is my absolute favorite book of all time. When I read this book, I remember getting up at 2 a.m. to finish it because I had it on audiobook and I had it through Libby, and I was like, I need to finish this book because it was not only because it was my time was running out on the book, but it was so good. And if anybody said like this is a book that I will tolerate nothing, and I will not tolerate any type of bad talk about this book. Like, I will be mad at you if you talk crap about this book. And this is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. This book was phenomenal, near and dear to my heart. I spent literally all weekend just hyping this book up to family members and friends. And I was like, if you're looking for a good book, go read this. And yes, it is 570 pages, but it is worth all 570.
Are you crazy?
And you will finish it very quickly. And this book had me up 2 a.m. crying. Like, forget sleep, forget that I had to work. Didn't care. I was like, I'm just going to be sleepy. But it was worth everything powering through this book. This is the most powerful book I've ever read that I think, and I didn't understand when people used to say books change your life. And I was like, how the hell a book change your life? Okay, now I see it. I get it. Now I get it, y'all. I get it. And this book delivered all of that. If I could give this a million stars, I really would. I do want the paperback copy because I'm more than likely, I do want to go back and annotate this entire book because I do love to annotate some books sometimes. And this is one of them where it's like, I want to reread, annotate, and just go through all of my feelings throughout this book because I just remember having so many feelings, so many thoughts just reading through this. And I want to do it again and again and again. And I would reread this book 10 more times and I would recommend it 50 million more times. Like, this is such an amazing book, life changing, the best book I've ever read. This is my favorite book of 2025. We'll see if something will top it, but this is my favorite book so far. This has claimed the throne. But yes. And it usually takes me a very long time for books to it takes me like at the end, towards the end of the year before I'm like, this is my favorite book of the year. But this one in May, favorite book of the year, I'm going to say it. We'll see if something can dethrone this one. We'll see.